Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have joined us online. We ask that you turn off your cell phones during the worship service, with one important exception. Feel free to use your phones to access our hearing assistance system, especially if you have T-coil. My name is Sonia Kumar. My pronouns are she and her, and I am this morning's worship leader. We welcome you today, whatever the circumstances of your life, in the many ways we identify as people, and in the diversity of how we love and live. In this house of faith, we are all included as we search for truth, build community, and strive to make the world a better place for all. Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. Today, Hamilton is home to many Indigenous peoples from across North America, Turtle Island, and the land here is covered by covenants and treaties. We are, all of us, treaty people, original inhabitants and those who came later, inheritors of a diverse history, dwellers in a common land, and travelers toward a better day. We respect our treaty relationships and responsibilities to both the land and the original people who reside here. Before we listen to this morning's prelude, Rachel Derry has an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to highlight the Singers Workshop series that we are having on May 9th in this sanctuary. Melissa Dutch, who has blessed us with her music, singing and playing piano, will be here and doing two workshops. There's one in the morning, somatics for singers. It's sort of all about our nervous regulation, our breathing, and how it can support our singing. And the aging, in the afternoon, she'll be doing the aging voice and talking about sort of how our aging affects our singing, and believe me, I can attest to that. So it's $10 per workshop, so $20 for the whole day. Your music committee is bringing this to you as we thought it might be a fun and educational moment. So I invite you all. We'll have information in the announcements. I will be printing a poster one of these moments, and then you can also do that, but you can scan the little barcode and that will take you to Eventbrite. So May 9th, put it on your calendar. Thank you. And now we are going to enjoy Marianne.
And Rachel. This is a bit of a sing-along, so once you get the chorus, and it should be pretty easy, please sing along. I mean, you can sing along all the way through, but the chorus you'll get for sure. Start that again, sorry. light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Life upon life upon life, all disappears into one. Life upon life upon life, all disappears into one. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through.
Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into our time of worship and community. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. Made of friendship and love. The Gates of Hope by Victoria Safford. Our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, which are somewhat narrower, not stalwart, boring gates of common sense, not the strident gates of self-righteousness, which creak on shrill and angry hinges. People cannot hear us there. They cannot pass through. Not the cheerful, flimsy garden gates of everything's going to be all right, but a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling about your own soul, first of all, and its condition, the place of resistance and defiance, the piece of ground from which you see the world, both as it is and as it could be, as it will be, the place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but joy in the struggle. And we stand there, beckoning and calling, telling people what we are seeing, asking people what they see. Our first hymn will be led by Rachel. It's one of the new hymns in the virtual hymn book.
And it's easy to pick up, trust me, called Joy in the Morning. Please join me when you're comfortable. Here we go. We'll find joy in the morning. Joy in the morning. Joy in the morning. In the morning, we'll find joy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny Copes, and I run the kids program here, and I'm so glad to see you all here. I have a couple of things that I want to share before I read the story, which is super great. There are a couple of sads and glads that I want to share from two families here. One is a sad, one is a glad, because the parents are often out in the rainbow room with me. They're not often here, so I just want to, let you guys know what's going on in some of the lives of the families here at the church. So one family is dealing with flooding up in North Bay in their house and sewer backage, and it's just a lot to deal with everything going on and their own kids. So I just want to sit with that for a moment to honor their experiences and to share that is something that we have impacting us today. Another thing I want to share is a glad. A couple of weeks ago, on March 24, a family who has been coming here since maybe the end of January or the beginning of February, they just had a new baby. Yes, everybody is doing very well, and the mom said that it has gone better than she expected. She has an older boy who's maybe like 3 or 4 years old, and they seem to be doing really well. So if you see them, Claire is the mom, Simon is the little boy, then they have a little baby at home who they will be keeping at home for a while, but they will be here as much as they can for now. The second thing I want to share, not a sad or glad, is that on April 26th, so next Sunday afternoon, from 1 to 3:30 p.m., there's a film screening for the movie Scene. It's a documentary about healing our emotional wounds so that we can be better parents for ourselves. So this is a great opportunity for parents, family members, educators, anybody involved in working with families to come and support families and learn about what it means to really heal yourself so that we can pour our love into those that we love the most. I'm really excited about it. There's going to be a panel discussion afterwards. There'll be some refreshments as well. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. They're $20 each, but we do have comp tickets for families facing financial difficulties, so please reach out to me if that is something that you're interested in. And there should be a link in the ACE for it as well, or on our social media, so you can look out for that there. The final thing before I get to the story, and thank you for bearing with me as I go through all of this, is Third Space Cafe. Last week we had at midnight. This coming Friday we have games night, so bring a game, bring a friend, come and join some lovely games. You don't also have to play a game, you can just come and chat. It is a potluck as well, so bring some food to share if you can. And then the week after, this Friday, so May 1st, we are having another dance. We're calling it the Spring Fling. And in the ACE this week, we will put in a link to a form so that you could submit a song request. If there is a special song that you would like to dance to on Friday, then you can put it there and we'll put it on our list. So we look forward to seeing everybody there I'm looking forward to it, really. Okay, so our story today is called Little Mole Finds Hope. It's written by Glennis Nellis and illustrated by Sally Garland. Little Mole was sad. He lay in his burrow deep underground and put his head in his paws. Little Mole, whatever's wrong? Asked Mama. Oh, I just don't know, Mama, sniffed Little Mole, but I don't feel good inside. I'm sad. Well, what you need is hope, Mama said. Hope? What's hope? Where do I find it? Little Mole asked. Come with me, Mama said, as she took hold of Little Mole's paw. Sometimes hope is hiding in the darkness. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it's always there. You just have to find it. Mama led her son gently out of the dark burrow up towards the light. But on their way out of the tunnel, Mama stopped. Do you see this bulb, Little Mole? She asked. Mama pointed to a bulb squashed in the dark earth. It was brown, wrinkled, and lifeless. "It's dead, Mama," said Little Mole. "Oh, no, my dear," Mama whispered softly. "This bulb is not dead. Sometime soon, it will feel the warmth of the sun. It will begin to grow and push its way out of the deep, cold earth. One day, this bulb will become a beautiful yellow daffodil. Close your eyes, Little Mole. Can you see it dancing in the wind?" "Yes, Mama," cried Little Mole. "I see it. I see it." "That is hope," Mama said. Little Mole and Mama reached the top of the burrow where the sun was shining. "Look up, Little Mole," said Mama. "What do you see?" Little Mole looked up. He saw woodpeckers sitting in trees, but the branches were bare. They stretched out like skeleton bones, silhouetted against the sky. "Oh, they're dead, Mama," said Little Mole. "Oh, no, dear," Mama whispered softly. "The trees are not dead. One day soon, buds will appear, and these branches will be covered in bright green leaves. Close your eyes, Little Mole. Can you see them dancing in the wind?" "Yes, Mama," cried Little Mole. "I see them. I see them." "That is hope," Mama said. Little Mole and his Mama scurried along the edge of the woods until they came to Mr. Rabbit's garden. An old brown flower pot was lying on its side in the soil. Under the rim, something small and shriveled was hanging. "Oh, it's dead, Mama," said Little Mole. "Oh, no, my dear," Mama whispered softly. "This chrysalis is not dead. One day soon, the butterfly growing inside will burst out of her shell. She will spread her wings and fly free along the flowers. Close your eyes, Little Mole," said Mama. "Can you see her dancing in the wind?" "Yes, Mama," cried Little Mole. "I see her. I see her." "That is hope," Mama said. Little Mole and his Mama went home. "I had a wonderful day today, Mama," Little Mole said happily. "Now I know that there's always hope, even in the darkest places." Mama smiled as she tucked Little Mole into bed, pulled his quilt up under his chin, and kissed him goodnight. And Little Mole closed his eyes and fell fast asleep, dreaming of yellow daffodils, green trees, beautiful butterflies dancing together in the wind. Thank you. Can we sing the children out now?
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
In this free faith tradition, we are the support and resources of this congregation. Our gifts and donations sustain the many ministries of this church, a community we have chosen to join and support. We will now receive our offering while we listen to our music ministries.
There's a little bit of a sing-along in this one too at the end. I give thanks for my life, for all my happiness, all my strife. It made me who I am today, and I think I turned out okay. Well, I try not to step on your toes, and I forgive you if you step on mine. I'd rather not be angry, There's so much I'd rather do than spend my time getting old and blue. When I look at life on the brighter side, life is a journey, life is a ride. And I've been slowing down, looking around me. When I'm going slow enough, the things I see amaze me. Like the simple beauty of a tree. Or a pebble beach in the rain, a sunny day in fall. The sky, the sparkle on the water on a hot day in July. Moonlight shining through windows where lovers lie. A smile on my baby's face, forever in his eyes. I remember where I live, kindness and love are mine to give. When I start feeling a frown, I slow down and take a look around. And I give thanks for my life, for all my happiness, all my strife. It made me who I am today, and I think I turned out okay. Your turn. I give thanks for my life, for all my happiness, all my strife. It made me who I am today, and I think I turned out okay. Thank you.
Your gifts and support of our ministries to one another and to the community are appreciated. Thank you. In these moments of contemplation, I invite you to relax, close your eyes, if you like, and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there will be a few moments of silence followed by music. During the music, you are welcome to come up and light a candle of joy or concern. This morning's reading is Choose to Bless the World, written by Rebecca Ann Parker. Choose to bless the world. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting.
Good morning. We now come to a time in our service when we affirm the ways that we are connected to each other in this life, as we live into the truth that what affects one of us affects all of us. In a spirit of community care, let us open our hearts to one another and to all that we hold sacred. There are no written sorrows or joys today, although we do have 2 gratitudes. We celebrate the joys among us, and we hold those sorrows that are too tender to share in our hearts. Together as a community, we've also begun celebrating our gratitudes. The work of our church is never done, it's always humming along. Sometimes this work happens in visible ways, and other times it's unnoticed. But it's always worthy of celebration. And today I'd especially like to offer gratitude to Marianne for her gift of music, and of course Rachel for her gift of music, and to the garden team for all the wonderful work they do in bringing our garden back to life this spring. And they have a table outside in the foyer. We also have 2 written gratitudes. Jody Aberdeen has shared this. I'm grateful to Reverend Danny and everyone in the Young Adult Journey group that has been taking place on the 2nd Tuesday of the month. I found it very helpful to have others around me who understand the unique concerns that affect almost all millennials and General Zeds. It feels good to be heard and understood by others who truly get it and are going through much the same. I look forward to the next one. And another gratitude shared by Scarlett Gillespie. I wish to express my gratitude to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton, to the Eva Rothwell Center, to Pat Dickinson, and also to the Hamilton Spectator for publishing my op-ed about this wonderful community of neighbors. If you would like to have a joy, sorrow, or gratitude shared with the larger congregation, you can do so by clicking the link on our church's homepage online, or by writing something in the binder at the side of the sanctuary. Sharing those tender moments of our lives and witnessing one another is part of building the web of beloved community. May we continue to hold space for this community care and to share with courage and vulnerability. Most of you know me, I think, but my name is Karen Trollope Kumar, and I've been a member of this church for over 25 years now. And the topic of my talk today is finding hope in a dark time, not an easy topic. Night after night, I find myself glued to my laptop, doom scrolling, reading about the latest discussion of the situation in the Middle East, the latest inflammatory post by President Trump on Truth Social, or the latest outrages committed by ICE agents across the United States. After doing this for an hour or so, I suddenly realize I've completely lost track of time and that I've accomplished absolutely nothing useful. In fact, I feel worse by knowing all these details. But it's hard to break the doom scrolling habit. Social media is so compelling. Information is presented in tiny bites designed to give you small hits of dopamine with each screen you watch, even when bad news is presented. I feel strangely compelled to go on checking the news. Lately, however, there's been something else appearing on my social media feeds, and that is the voyage of Artemis II round the moon, with stunning photographs of the dark side of the moon and our beautiful blue planet. There are many arguments against space exploration, the tremendous amount of money it takes, the effect on climate, the uselessness of it in terms of a social good for the people of Earth. Yet still, there's something transcendent about it, especially those images of Earth from outer space. That lovely blue globe suspended in the darkness of space. Surely that's a cosmic metaphor for hope in a dark time. Seeing that image, we realize with startling clarity how extraordinary this all is. that in the vastness of the universe there should be a planet that offers us the perfect environment to sustain life in all its myriad variety. Unitarian minister and poet Gretchen Haley wrote, "Let astonishment be possible at this life that remains a miracle." I love that phrase, "Let astonishment be possible." Those moments when we contemplate the beauty of the earth from outer space are truly transcendent, but it's hard to hang on to that feeling when I reflect on the current state of the world and the mess we seem to be making of our precious world. Images of the suffering of the people in Sudan, Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran trouble me deeply. So much suffering is caused by what we humans do to each other in the name of greed or power or just plain stupidity. So here's the challenge. How do we preserve hope in a dark time? Rebecca Solnit writes, "Hope locates itself in the premise that we don't know what will happen, and in the spaciousness of uncertainty, there is room to act. Hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think all will be fine without our involvement. Pessimists take the opposite view. Both excuse themselves from action. But it's the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter, who or what it may affect. These are not things we can know beforehand, but still we must act. We must act without being certain of the outcome of our actions. I think this is such a hard concept for our Western mind to grasp. We love planning, schedules, deadlines, and above all, outcomes. Yet life is way too complex to fit neatly into a spreadsheet. Here I'm looking at my daughter, the CEO of Body Brave. She believes in all this stuff. Think of a time when you set out to do something that was important to you. Perhaps you created plans, mobilized resources, involved some colleagues or friends. Soon you were wrapped up in imagining the outcomes of your project. How exciting it was to dream. But something went wrong along the way. You didn't get the outcome that you hoped to, not even close. How discouraging. But before you consider the project a failure, think again. Take some time to reflect and re-examine the whole enterprise right from the beginning. There was likely an outcome you didn't plan for at all, which may come with its own rewards. Your perspective shifts, new insights emerge. There's an ancient Taoist story that illustrates this concept. Many of you have probably heard this before, but I just love this story. There once lived a poor farmer who lived in a poor village, but this farmer was considered very rich and fortunate because he owned a horse. One day, his horse ran away. His neighbors came to the farm to say they were sorry for his misfortune. But the farmer said, "I don't know. Could be bad, it could be good." Several days later, the horse returned with 6 wild horses. Once again, the neighbors came by to congratulate him. But the farmer said, "I don't know. Could be good, could be bad." Sometime later, the farmer's son went riding on one of the wild horses, but he fell off and broke his leg. The neighbors came by to console the farmer, but the farmer said, "I don't know. It could be bad, it could be good." A year later, a fierce war broke out between the farmer's country and the neighboring country. Many young men were drafted into the army. When the army came to draft the farmer's son, they found that he was disabled, thus exempting him from military service. I've always loved that little tale, which reminds me that life is mysterious, filled with possibilities that we may be entirely unaware of. Think about Rebecca Solnit's words, the spaciousness of uncertainty where there's room to act. I just love that phrase as well, the spaciousness of uncertainty where there's room to act. I'm reminded of one of the great truths of the Hindu tradition, that it is the duty of each person to act with right intention, leaving the outcome of the action to the divine. In a dark time, we must act. We must try to make a difference in whatever small way we can. Think of those No Kings protests, the largest protests in the history of the United States. The sight of those massive crowds provided me with some hope at a time when the political situation seemed so dark. I listened to a television commentator interviewing a middle-aged woman in one of those protests. She said she'd never been to anything like this in her life before, but something changed. She knew with full certainty that she must do her small part in this national movement to protect democracy. American Unitarian congregations have been banding together to actively resist ICE activities and to protest widely against the excesses of the government. These dark times provide us with an opportunity to stop and reflect about the direction we're going in life. People who take action describe how powerful it is to unite with others in solidarity. Perhaps this is a gift of these difficult times when we unite together in solidarity. I must remember this when I get tempted to start doom scrolling again on my laptop. Here's another possible gift of dark times. A scary and unexpected turn of events can suddenly wake us up out of a state of complacency. Think of Donald Trump's punishing tariffs against Canadian industry, as well as his obnoxious insults towards Canada, the 51st state. His words and deeds have lighted a flame of indignation in Canadian hearts. We are resisting. Some people are boycotting American products, others are canceling trips to the US. These are very small acts, seemingly indifferent, but they've had an impact. And perhaps we are rehearsing for bigger acts still to come. Suppose our democracy is threatened in future. We'll be called on to act, just as those American Unitarians are currently doing in the face of Donald Trump's authoritarian excesses. In fact, we may have dodged a bullet a year ago. Pierre Poilievre was on a glide path to victory, and his rhetoric was pretty scary at times. But instead, Mark Carney appeared on the scene quite unexpectedly, and he's been showing some true leadership for the country at this perilous time. His speech at Davos described that we're facing a rupture in international relationships, where the old rules-based international order established after World War II may be irrevocably broken. Sounds like a disaster, right? But let's remember the story of the farmer and the horse. Maybe we should reserve judgment. It could be good, it could be bad, we don't know yet. My husband, who is from India, often says, maybe a multipolar world might be safer than a world dominated by the US. Oh, I just thought of another great example of the story of the farmer and his horse. Many of you know that I was a member of the search committee last year. We went through a long and complicated process to find the best possible minister for our congregation. We interviewed many people, and we did extend an offer to one candidate, but she turned us down. We couldn't believe it. Who could turn down such a great place? But after that, we felt so disheartened, feeling like we'd failed in our task. But little did we know, the word that Hamilton first had not found a match spread across the country in mysterious ways, eventually reaching the ears of Reverend Danny, who had not even applied for the search process. At that time, Danny was quite happy in their job at the CUC. But then, as you know, the rest is history. Enough of this digression. Finding hope in dark times is a theme that's explored in literary traditions worldwide. Think of Emily Dickinson's poem where she wrote, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul." In novels, I'm thinking of Tolkien's book, The Hobbit, where Frodo faces each crisis with an unfailing sense of hope that good will ultimately prevail. I also love Ernest Hemingway's book, The Old Man and the Sea. I'm sure you can think of other books you love as well that inspire us with a message of hope. Then there are movies that have inspiring themes. How many of you have watched The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel? Do you remember that young man who runs the hotel? He faces innumerable obstacles, yet he keeps going regardless. When a hotel guest questions him about the latest crisis, he says, "Don't worry, it'll be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end." I love that film. So what do our Unitarian thinkers and theologians have to say about hope in dark times? Theodore Parker was a Unitarian minister from the mid-1800s whose concepts of hope were activist and justice-oriented. He wrote that amazing line, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." That sentence gives me strength at a time like this, when it seems that morality and justice are under threat. Rebecca Ann Parker is a contemporary UU theologian who writes about hope arising in the midst of suffering, not apart from it. Her writing emphasizes resilience, relationship, and moral courage, and she's the author of that beautiful poem that Sonia read, "Choose to Bless the World." And Rachel, I think we have a beautiful piece of music about it. Oh my gosh, I remember it. Really, yeah. Oh, so lovely. The topic of suffering is one that every religious tradition addresses because it's a central problem of human existence. In Christian teachings, the message of Easter is all about hope in the darkest of times. The resurrection of Jesus after his suffering and death speaks to hope, renewal, and transformation. In St. Paul's letter to the Romans, he writes about the problem of suffering, saying that going through difficult times can produce something more deeper, a kind of resilience and maturity that leads to a stronger, more grounded hope. When we are suffering, that's when we're in most need of hope. Many of you know that my daughter Sonia struggled with a severe eating disorder that lasted for years in her young adulthood. There were many dark times during those days, times when I wondered if she'd even survive. She'd been admitted to several hospital programs, but each time she'd relapsed. She was suffering, and I was desperate. But one day, we received a gift of hope in the most unexpected way. Sonia and I were walking down a street in Toronto when we saw a sign that proclaimed, "Want a glimpse into your future? Tarot card readings, $50. I suddenly said, "Let's go for it." Sonia looked at me quizzically. She might have rolled her eyes, but she gave a nod. We climbed a set of stairs and knocked on a door. A thin, gray-haired man greeted us, and Sonia followed him into an interior room while I paced around the dingy waiting area. I studied a chart on the wall. The headline proclaimed, "The tarot is the storybook of our life, the mirror to our soul and the key to our inner wisdom." The tarot cards displayed a bewildering array of images. The Tower card showing a man falling from a high tower towards a churning ocean. The Magician card with a mysterious robed figure holding a globe and compass. My mind was racing, filled with conflicting thoughts. What the heck am I doing here? I don't believe in all this stuff. The minutes dragged by. Eventually, Sonia emerged from the interior room accompanied by the tarot reader. He smiled at me and said, "Your daughter is a remarkable young woman, very insightful." I thanked him and paid the $50. As soon as we were back out on the street, I asked Sonia, "What did he say?" She said, "He got me to turn over various tarot cards, and then he related the meaning of each card to my life and my future." "Really? Tell me more," I said, trying to sound nonchalant. I felt my heart pounding as I waited for her answer. The first few cards had pretty scary meanings: danger, change, turmoil, stuff like that. But the last card I turned over was the Strength card. It showed a picture of a woman holding the jaws of a lion. The lion looked fierce, but the woman is totally calm. So apparently, the cards say that I've been going through a rough time, but things are going to get really much better really soon, Sonia said. I felt a sudden upspring of hope. Could it be true that Sonia would soon recover? I tried to push this thought out of my mind. After all, I don't believe in tarot readings. Or do I? Reflecting on that whole event that evening, I realized that the tarot reader had given us the gift of hope, not just from the message of the cards, but because he'd truly listened to Sonia and had seen beyond her illness to something deeper, something resilient and true about her. It was the best $50 I ever spent in my life. I also had a good friend who stood by me during those terrifying days of Sonia's illness, encouraging me not to lose hope. She gave me the gift of deep listening, letting me share my fears, my sorrow, and my grief without judgment. Enough about me. What can you do if you're facing a dark time in your life, when you feel the need for hope? First of all, remember that you're part of this wonderful community. Here you can find friendship, connection, and inspiration. You can wander over to our little library and explore the writings of our great Unitarian teachers. Or perhaps there's a religious tradition you left behind years ago. There may still be some powerful messages of hope that could speak to you from your religious roots. You could also delve into a faith tradition you knew nothing about, marveling at the many ways we humans have struggled to answer the great questions of life. You could join a journey group where you have the opportunity for deep listening, a powerful way to connect with others in a safe space. And then there's the book club, our marvelous choir, the people in our congregation who are passionate about social justice. There's our lovely garden. And finally, there are many opportunities within our congregation to serve others. Speaking of opportunities to serve, I think there's an opening in the coffee making roster right now. Maybe I'm starting to sound a bit evangelical about our Unitarian community. Oops. Most Unitarians frown on proselytizing. But this community has so much to offer, especially when dark times are looming. Let me round out this talk by going back to that amazing voyage of Artemis II, around the moon and back again. In describing the experience of that epic voyage, the astronauts talked about joy, the sheer adventure of it all, at the companionship forged in moments of danger, and most of all, at the extraordinary beauty of the Earth. That stunning image of Earth, surrounded by the darkness of space. I truly think this is a cosmic metaphor for hope in a dark time. Victor Glover, the pilot of the Artemis, said that returning to Earth after such an experience leaves astronauts with a choice. His challenge to the crew was, are you going to try to live your life a little differently? I'll close with a verse from that beautiful poem that Sonia read earlier. Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. Thank you. We'll be singing hymn number 375, Gather the Spirit.
.347.
Let Astonishment Be Possible by Reverend Gretchen Haley. Whatever you've come anticipating, whatever you expect or worry for our world, for the future, for our lives, let it go. Make space in your heart to be surprised. Make room in your soul for a new story to take shape. Let astonishment be possible. At this life that remains a miracle. Imagine here the bursting of joy, relentless and resilient, coming in waves washing over us with music and story and silence, and still the streaming together, being hope for each other and courage to believe in this day. Please remain seated to listen to our postlude.
If you know it, sing along. It's a little song I wrote called Roll with the Changes. When the wind is coming from behind, don't turn back. You can't go back. There may be in another place, another time, but you can't go back. You can never go back there again. No, oh, but you can roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Are those changes are gonna roll right over you. Oh, oh. And when the rain is coming down hard, run away, but don't run too far, 'cause rainbows grow in the mist in the sun when the sun comes out, and it always comes out, yeah, after the rain. When you roll with the changes, roll with the changes, roll with the changes, are those changes are gonna roll right over you. Oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, roll with the changes, roll with the changes, roll with the changes, are those changes are gonna roll right over you. Oh, oh. And when the rain is gone and the clouds have moved on, earth is fresh and new, and life will grow from the seeds we sow and the things we do to carry on through. Take a good look, accept and move on. Time doesn't wait for anyone. There's always more coming, so you gotta be strong and roll on. Roll on, you've got to roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Roll with the changes. Are those changes are gonna roll right